Hey, oh, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. Not too much to be thankful for on this evening's episode of Smackdown. While Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan continue to be the two shining lights of hope on this show that make you want to continue to watch SmackDown because they're the only things worth watching, the rest of this show was full of so many good things and so many bad things, and the good things were pretty good, but the bad things were very bad. A lot of things wrong with this episode, and we are going to go over each and every one of them right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. You are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown review and reaction show. Gobble gobble, let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
It's Black Friday, so that means we gotta break out the merch and offer you guys a Black Friday super sale featuring the all-new hooded sweatshirts just in time for winter. Keep yourself warm while bringing the hammer down on the worst wrestling product in the entire industry. With me on Sledgehammer TV, wear your colors right here. Teespring.com/store/SledgehammerTV. Use the code SLEDGE20 at the checkout for 20% off your order this Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Get them while they're hot. That and so much more. Face masks, because the pandemic continues to roar out of control, and no better way to protect yourself than with the shield of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show draped across your face and wearing it on your chest like a superhero, defending professional wrestling from all of the wicked evils that Vince McMahon throws at us, like we've seen a lot of tonight on SmackDown. Listen, I appreciate everything that they're doing with Roman Reigns. I think that he and his cousin Jey Uso have settled into their roles. They continue to be the best thing on this show. Followed closely by Daniel Bryan. You want to give me Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, and you want to give me things like you did tonight that actually were creative and made sense in a good way, I'm all for that. You want to give me Bianca Belair racking up wins? That's great. I'm all for that. But we're not talking about all the good things really here. We're here to focus on everything wrong with the show. And one of the main things wrong with the show is that I had to see Baron Corbin for 2 segments, even more than 2 segments, but you don't have a spot for Big E other than being a comedian. Big E, once again, the token funny guy on the show, confronting Sami Zayn about the Intercontinental Championship instead of being booked in matches and racking up wins to make him a viable contender for Roman Reigns, so that we don't have to sacrifice a great talent like Kevin Owens in a useless feud that's going to go nowhere. Sure, the ending of SmackDown tonight was great, the way they're building up Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns, coming off the back of what's happened on Survivor Series, but it's all for nothing, because you know Kevin Owens isn't going to win. They're not going to take the belt off of Roman until maybe even up until WrestleMania. He's probably going to be the champion for the remainder of the year at the very least, and going into 2021. So we're wasting Kevin Owens here. But I do appreciate the performance of all of the men involved. Was a great way to go off the air. It was intense. It was physical. It's all based off of the fact that Roman Reigns wants control by fear. It is better for him to be feared than loved. That's a little nod to one of my favorite movies of all time, a very underrated gangster movie called A Bronx Tale. If you've never seen it, that's a question posed to Sonny by Little C, and he's like, Sonny, is it better to be loved or feared? And Sonny pretty much lays it out. No, it's better to be feared. It's better for them to be afraid of you, because people that love you will take advantage of you, like some of you guys know over the course of being with some of those people at Thanksgiving dinner yesterday. You know how it is when you're talking about love, but when you have the fear of others, you have the respect of others immediately, because they dare not cross you. And Roman Reigns feels that Jey Uso not leading the Survivor Series team to victory, heading the table run on them, is nothing but an embarrassment, and it's causing him to be looked at like a homeless bum looking for scraps at the Thanksgiving table. And he doesn't appreciate being put in that position, and he's blaming Jey Uso for this. He's not begging for Thanksgiving leftovers, and Jey Uso has to make it right. And he tried to do that tonight on multiple occasions, and everything that they did based in and around this was very interesting, and they used it in the right way, except in the first scenario. The first matchup of this night we were supposed to get following Reigns and Uso's confrontation at the beginning of the show was Otis versus King Corbin. Already I'm like, really? We're going to continue to push King Corbin? It's the worst of the worst. All right? He makes me feel exactly like I feel after eating a gigantic dish of Thanksgiving dinner with the turkey and the gravy and the stuffing and the everything. And you know, when you go after Thanksgiving dinner and you sit on the couch next to your family and your friends and you're watching or trying to watch some football and you end up taking a little snooze because of the tryptophan that's all in your system. That's Baron Corbin. That's what he does to me watching pro wrestling. And even though he didn't make it out to the ring, as this match never happened, just knowing that we were supposed to get King Corbin was enough to almost lull me into a coma. But Jey Uso interrupted Otis's entrance. He beat the snot out of him with a chair, taking him out completely. Chad Gable would end up coming out and accompanying Otis to the back when Jey Uso was done. He's trying to make an impact. Otis was a part of the Survivor Series team that ended up embarrassing him because he wouldn't listen to Jey Uso. He has no respect for him. He has no respect for the family. It's all great. It's all very well done. The only bad thing was that we were supposed to get this matchup. And while I was momentarily relieved because we weren't going to have to see Baron Corbin now thanks to Otis being attacked pre-match, he would come back again later on this evening, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Another thing wrong with the beginning of this show was the fact that they had Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode defeating the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, who just beat the New Day, talking about getting the torch handed to them. You know, now that they beat the New Day, I guess they're supposed to be big and bad. They're supposed to be special, right? But now they're being beaten by two glorified mid-carders. And to make matters even worse, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, in a very, very lackluster pre-match promo on their way to the ring, referenced Dolph Ziggler and called him HBK. Now, he didn't call him an HBK wannabe or an HBK ripoff. He didn't add any sort of a negative connotation to it. He simply said, we're going to have a match with Bobby Roode and HBK. And I'm sitting there thinking, how is that an insult? How is that an insult? If you're a professional wrestler and somebody calls you HBK, that's a compliment. That's a compliment of one of the biggest compliments you could ever get if your profession is pro wrestling. That would be like somebody comparing me to the great George Carlin. Oh, you're so funny. You're like George Carlin. Well, that would be like an honor to me. That's not an insult. Is being called HBK an insult to you? I don't think so. That definitely missed the mark. I would have taken that as a compliment. I'm sorry. And let's get something straight right now. Dolph Ziggler couldn't lace HBK's boots. Dolph Ziggler on his best day couldn't take down HBK at his worst. Okay, let's just get that straight away on the table, out of the way, no bout of doubt it. That's just a fact. Okay, Dolph Ziggler at one point in his youth was on par, or on course rather, to maybe be the next HBK, or be somebody that performs at the level of a Shawn Michaels, but that role has since been filled up by the phenomenal AJ Styles, who is the closest thing we'll ever get to the second coming of a Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to keep going off on a tangent because there is no way to compare the two that's even fair. And it's not an insult. So that's just terrible writing. Made even worse by the fact that these clowns beat the champions because they lost any sense of creativity when it comes to establishing challengers for champions. Now, I know that there are no other tag teams, but you could have at least made this interesting, make them constantly keep attacking the Street Profits, build it up and hold off the matches until the pay-per-view. You got TLC to build up. Maybe over the course of the next couple of weeks, we see some vignettes. We see these guys talking trash about each other after Ziggler and Rude come out and beat them down as they're trying to party with their little red sippy cups because they just beat the New Day. They should have got beaten down in the middle of the ring, and that would be the catalyst for this match. Not just them coming out going, oh, well, we want the titles, so, we're the only other tag team, so let's do this. And we're going down the same road we were going on Monday Night Raw with the Street Profits, just with a different tag team. Because there are no tag team divisions. The tag division is dead. So anytime they do anything here, it's bad as it is. But the fact that they beat the champs to become number one contenders is one of the trends in wrestling that I just really wish would die. It's lazy. It's uncreative. And it does nothing for your champions. You would think that coming off a big win at Survivor Series, they'd want to build some momentum for the Street Profits before they just throw them under the bus to their next challengers, who are going to end up losing the championship match and continue going round and round we go. No thank you. After this, we recapped what's been going on between Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. Caleb Braxton interviewed Daniel Bryan in the back. His interviews have been fantastic. He says he has to accept certain things, like the fact that Sami Zayn is delusional. He has to accept that Jey Uso has a devil on his shoulder. But tonight, he has to defeat Sami Zayn to get one step closer to the Intercontinental Championship. Now that we just seen a match where the challengers beat the champions, I thought for sure this is where they were going to go with it, but they definitely threw a little wrench at us and a little bit of a swerve here because they didn't go the direction I thought they were going to go, and I'm kind of thankful for that. After Daniel Bryan's promise to defeat Sami Zayn tonight, we get another interview segment in the back with Caleb Braxton interviewing the Mysterio family, now featuring Murphy Mysterio. He's a full-fledged member of the family. Buddy Murphy and the fam is in the back, and they're talking about how they're all happy with each other, and they get interrupted by Constable King Dickhead Baron Corbin. He mocked Buddy Murphy. He doubts he'll be with the Mysterio family during the holidays by this time next year. He's essentially playing the role of Seth Rollins. And this gets worse as well, because when we get to this matchup, Buddy Murphy comes out with the whole entire Mysterio family. And Aaliyah's coming out dressed all sexified. I guess Vince McMahon talked to Tiny Dad and was like, hey, Ray, how much will it cost for me to objectify your daughter? Or something along the lines of that, because I'm sure he got a little bit of a nice payday allowing his daughter to go out there. She was coming out all respectable, right? She's wearing decent, normal, feminine outfits, looking as attractive as ever. But tonight she's got her shoulders out, her shirt's almost falling off her little titties. Come on, just because the relationship's okay don't mean we have to objectify the 19-year-old girl walking around with a 30-year-old boyfriend who looks like he could be her dad, at the very least the creepy stalker uncle, and it's just awful. It's just awful. It looks terrible. Did you see the three of them coming out with him? This is a happy family. We're a happy family. No, it's freaking cringe, and it's awful. And then it gets even more worse. I know I should be talking about this later, but it's in my brain now, and it just makes my brain fizzle out. Because the Mysterio family, featuring Murphy Mysterio, they were cheating. The good guys, the baby faces, Tiny Dad, Giant Baby Son, Sexy Sister, and Murphy Mysterio. I don't know why I had to give you one of these. They're cheating against the biggest heel, or the biggest waste of heel, in professional wrestling. And Baron Corbin loses this match thanks to the constant interference of the Mysterios, who are now fully behind the newest member of the fam, Murphy Mysterio. It's ass backwards. It's ass backwards. And then Baron Corbin gets all pissed off after he loses this match to Murphy Mysterio and says, hey, listen, I didn't know you were going to have a gang with you. This wasn't fair. And next week I'm going to be ready. I don't care. So now already we got a rematch being booked for next week, and it's a rematch of one of the worst matches I had to sit through tonight. Big time thing wrong with this show. Everything and anything happening with Murphy and the Mysterios. You want to add King Corbin? That's even worse than the Monday Night Man Bun being there. That's how emotional this gets me. It gets me all blah, blah, blah. I'm eating my own words here. Well, anyway, let's get back on track. The non-title Intercontinental Championship matchup had Sami Zayn defeating Daniel Bryan in a very, very creative way. Sami Zayn lured Daniel Bryan to the back, as it seemed that he was just not going to be able to beat Daniel, taking the real shit heel way out of things, runs to the back, and then comes running back out. Daniel Bryan is no longer chasing him and makes it back to the ring just before the 10 count, securing the victory and securing the fact that Daniel Bryan now will not be challenging him for the Intercontinental Championship anytime soon, or so we are led to believe, because when Daniel Bryan went to the back giving chase to Sami Zayn, he got ambushed and attacked by Jey Uso. He would also... Daniel Bryan would be saved by Kevin Owens, who interjected here and got in between Jey Uso and Daniel Bryan, fending him off. And then that would be the setup for what would end up being our main event of the evening. I thought it was very creative. I thought it was a great way to give Sami Zayn the win while not damaging Daniel Bryan's credibility. That's what you do with a shit heel, and I don't think there's a better one on the roster right now than Sami Zayn. You cheat to win. You do it by whatever means necessary. And I thought this was just fine. And I want to see more of this. And if you're going to involve Big E and have a triple threat match of some sort, Big E and Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn, that's fine with me as well. I will be all for that. So after all of this, we get Kevin Owens approaching Roman Reigns and Jey Uso in the back, who are being accompanied by Paul Heyman. He's sick of their family issues, and he tells Roman that he treats his family like trash. So this is how you treat your family? You treat him like trash. Pretty much mocking them to his face and then walking away. Roman Reigns was pissed off by this to no end and told Jey Uso that he needs to take care of this. The match would be made, and now we had our main event. Bianca Belair defeated Natalya in a match, which I think it's funny because this, once again, is Natalya being put in a position where it's not about her. Because they had Bayley come out to be on commentary. One of the funniest things on this night was Bayley constantly challenging Michael Cole to a match because he's an idiot. And she felt disrespected by him on multiple occasions and kept challenging him to get in the ring with her. And I don't know, maybe I would pay money to see Bayley beat the shit out of Michael Cole. I dislike him that much. It would at least be something to see. Wouldn't be the first time we see Michael Cole get his ass kicked, but it would be the first time we've seen it done by Bayley. So I don't think I would be opposed to that. But Bianca Belair defeated Natalya tonight thanks to the interference of Bayley. They're definitely setting up Bianca versus Bayley going forward instead of immediately thrusting her at Sasha Banks. They're going to build her up as a viable challenger. She's been beating people. She was almost at the end of Survivor Series, the sole survivor, but that didn't work out in her favor. But she has already a couple of good wins under her belt, beating the former longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley would be a great way to solidify her as the challenger incumbent to this bullshit we got to deal with Carmella just coming out of nowhere and sneaking up on Sasha Banks, kicking her in the face a couple of times and getting the championship. Bianca Belair doing it the right way through the ranks and beating Bayley goes a great way towards that. So once again, while I didn't quite need the match with Natalya to set this up, I'm intrigued at the direction in which it's going, so it's just fine with me. Then we had the Murphy versus Baron Corbin match. We're not going to talk about it again. Murphy defeated Baron Corbin thanks to his new family getting involved, which was just strange. Then we had Big E and Apollo Crews pretending to play basketball in the back with some trash in a trash can. Sami Zayn came in because he was supposed to have an interview. He ended up running his mouth to Apollo Crews, talking about how he beat him in 10 seconds. He's saying he beat Daniel Bryan in 10 seconds, definitely using the wording to his advantage because the match was way longer than 10 seconds, but you get the gist of where he was going. Big E ends up calming down Apollo, getting him to walk off, and then he gets in Sami Zayn's face, telling him that he's lucky to be the Intercontinental Champion. He then would shake his hand after Sami Zayn was like, "You should be celebrating me. You shouldn't be mocking me. You haven't been the Intercontinental Champion in over 10 years." And then Big E was like, "You know what? You're right. Thank you, Sami Zayn. Thank you. Thank you so much." And then he was shaking his hands. They shook hands, and Big E crushed Sami Zayn's hand for a solid 10 seconds as he counted from 1 to 10. One of the best little nuggets here was when he got to 5, because remember Big E used to do the 5 thing. I need 5. So I just thought that was a nice little callback to his former character. So definitely setting up something there, and I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that as well. I'm not all right with Billie Kay going out there and interrupting Michael Cole and Corey Graves at commentary, dropping off her resumes in that shrill voice of hers, and I just can't stand it. It was definitely a waste of a few minutes. Pointless. Absolutely pointless. Putting her on the commentary team is like taking knives and sticking them in my ears for 2 hours. So please don't do it. Please don't do it. We don't need that. Just like we don't need Carmella. Carmella was in the back. She's talking about her return. She's not dancing around for people anymore. She's not listening to the fans anymore. She's shitting on us again. She's going to be untouchable and whatever. And then she goes to snap her fingers and it doesn't snap. The first time she snapped, they didn't snap. So nothing happened. And then the second time she had to do it again. She snapped. And then a hand came in, gave us some champagne, but revealed very slowly the boss ring on the hand. It was Sasha Banks coming to exact some revenge. She beat up Carmella in the back after she threw a drink in her face. Locked on the bank statement. Referees had to pull them apart in the back. Building up that going forward, I still have no interest. This should be nothing more than an easy win for Sasha Banks on the road to a collision with Bianca Belair. If they change gears here and give the belt to Carmella to go one-on-one with Bianca, I just don't care. I just don't care. I understand that Bianca Belair is being booked as a babyface. So is Sasha Banks right now, so that might get them to be afraid and cause them to do the little switcheroo like they did with Drew and Randy because they didn't want two heels going up against each other at Survivor Series. So is that the intention here? Is Carmella going to take the belt away and then we're going to have Bianca Belair take it from Carmella so that, I don't know, we're going to save Sasha and Bianca? That would be terrible. That would be terrible. I don't want to see that. I'm not looking forward to that. I very, very much hope that Sasha Banks retains the championship because I don't want to see Carmella with a third, what is it going to be, third or fourth time as SmackDown Women's Champion? No, thank you. Then we had our main event. Kevin Owens and Jey Uso had a great match until the finish. But, I mean, the finish worked. It worked to tell the story that they're trying to tell. It's not about wins and losses for Jey Uso. But I complained about this last week. But they had him beaten clean last week. This week there was some shenanigans going on. Kevin Owens got this win by disqualification. Another weird, wonky finish on the night. But it does lend itself very well to the story because Roman Reigns is getting in his head. It's not about wins. It's about respect. It's about fear. It's about getting them to fear you. So Jey Uso snapped and he went crazy and attacked Kevin Owens with a chair. But unfortunately for him, Kevin Owens is not your average Joe. He is not Otis. And he rebounded from this attack while Roman Reigns watched on in the back. And after Jey Uso already got himself disqualified, Kevin Owens handled his business, hitting him with a couple of stunners and then sitting down, mocking Roman Reigns once again, just asking him to come out and handle his own business, saying, "Where are you? Here I am. I'm not afraid of any man, most especially you." So Roman's little plan and Jay's battle plan definitely backfired on the House of Reigns, and it's not looking good for Kevin Owens going forward. He kept calling out Roman Reigns. Roman looked pissed as all hell. It was almost as if you could see the fire in his eyes and the smoke billowing off the back of his head. He was that mad that he was burning up all the juice in his hair and it was just evaporating away into steam. You could see it. You could see it. It was palpable and it's there. And it's going to be a great match. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. Going to be fantastic. It's just going to be burned away very quickly. And there's no way at this moment in time Kevin Owens walks away with the win. Given much more time, they could lead this whole entire feud up into a WrestleMania caliber match. You know, we're leading into the Royal Rumble coming up at the start of 2021. What if Kevin Owens wins the Royal Rumble and ends up facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? And this is just the beginning seed to all of that. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't see that to really be happening. If it's not Daniel Bryan and it's not The Rock, then it damn well should be Kevin Owens, and this would be a good place to start. Although, as we've said multiple times when referencing this, it's really just a pit stop for Roman Reigns, much in the same way that Jey Uso was. And now we see what is happening there. The family turmoil continues to brew and fester, even though Roman is getting everything he wants and he's ruling like a tyrant, and he's like that disapproving father figure in your life, or that coach that nothing was ever good enough, man. Poor Jey Uso's trying everything he can. Yet even at the end of Survivor Series, he came out and tried to help his cousin make sure that he won that matchup between the two champions, and that ends up getting him in trouble as well. Because what was he told to do? He was told to leave. You didn't listen to me. You didn't leave. I didn't ask you for your help. You came out and stuck your nose in where it didn't belong. Sure, I won the match, but I was going to win the match anyway. I didn't need you. You lost your match. What are you doing coming out trying to help me? It's just some really good stuff. Some really good stuff they're telling. I'm just not sure what direction it's going. When is it going to culminate? How's it going to come to an end? It's got to come to an end with The Rock. You've got to believe that, right? Might be the most logical thing ever written. And at one point, I remember when we first started hearing rumblings about The Rock versus Roman Reigns, nobody in the world would have ever wanted to see that match. But now, with everything going on, I think it's definitely at the top of all of the possibilities. That's, I think, what I want to see the most. And this is only beginning. We still got a few months before WrestleMania. We got to get to the Royal Rumble. But before that, we got to get through TLC. And though we don't really know any matches happening just yet, they seem to be, at least on the Blue brand, setting up some decent stuff for us to watch. For which I am thankful. Very thankful on this Thanksgiving edition of the Smackdown review and reaction show. I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend, however you had to spend it. I know it's a weird year, and I know it's not your normal holidays. I know probably many of you did not get together with your families in the same way that you normally would have. Some of you probably did, and I'm sure there was just as much turmoil at your family dinner as there was at the Uso Reigns house for Thanksgiving. But I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as you can. I hope you stuffed your faces to your heart's content. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving for whatever reason suits you best, then I hope you still had a wonderful Thursday and Friday and take advantage of this weekend and the time that you get to be home with your family, however you choose to celebrate it. You don't have to eat turkey and all that if you're vegan or if you don't agree with the holiday anymore. You know, everybody's entitled to their own thing. But I'm also entitled to say happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you as we kick off the holidays in a big way. And don't forget to check us out at teespring.com/store/sledgehammer-TV. Use that code SLEDGE20 at the checkout for 20% off your order. There's more than just masks and sweatshirts there. There's some of the classic t-shirts. There's the logo t-shirt. There's tank tops, stickers, and more. Go check it out at your heart's content. Bye, 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 baby. And I'm not singing a Backstreet Boys song. I'm asking you guys, bye, bye, bye. My stuff. Support this channel the best way you can. Do it before Tuesday to get that 20% off your order. You guys know the poop hammer was dropped on a few segments tonight, but for the most part, thanks to Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, SmackDown was a decent watch for at least 2 hours. Definitely more enjoyable than Monday Night Raw could ever be, and I am grateful for that. And I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for each and every one of you guys that are subscribed. And I'm thankful for the rest of you that aren't subscribed that are going to subscribe right now by hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button to let me know that you enjoyed the show today, dropping me a comment in that comment section down below. You could also find links in the description to the Teespring store if you need to go there, which I hope you guys definitely take advantage of this deal before it's up. And of course, I am thankful for every single one of you that watch this channel, whether you're subscribed or not. Without my fans, this channel is just me talking to a camera in this studio room by myself. And that would make me a crazy guy. So don't make me a crazy guy. Come back for more. Best way to do that, be subscribed and notified, and so that you don't miss this guy. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team. Thor, the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in the world, Mr. Blue Snowball, the most important member of the team, as always, each and every one of you. Don't forget to check out everything else you might have missed in the annotations up above. Continue to enjoy your holiday weekend as we get set for Christmas season 2020, probably the weirdest one ever. Thank you all so very much. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here. We will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Boom. Gobble, gobble.